Hey guys, how are you doing? So today I'm going to be reviewing a very interesting oracle deck. Hey guys, how are you doing? This is Madhvi from TaroticallySpeaking.com, your tarot blogger, deck and book reviewer, and maker of these awesome videos on YouTube. I'm also a tarot card reader and mentor, and an author of this awesome book on tarot, which is available on Amazon, both paperback and Kindle, all over the world. Now, all of these links and more are in the description, so do check that out. And at the end of this video, hit the like button, share it with your friends, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel for more such awesome tarot videos. Okay, so normally I don't really use many oracle decks. Let me just begin with that. And so for me, every time I look at an oracle deck, I have to really think about whether I can really get into that deck. You know what I'm saying? Because I am such a tarot person. It was so hard for me to get into the Lenormand to begin with. And because I just love a particular framework, and then I'm so happy with it. And now oracle decks actually have, again, a very different framework. And those people who can read with or work with oracle decks, I have the utmost of respect for them. Why? Because that's one thing I can somehow never bring myself to do. So with that said, I will still tell you that there are a few oracle decks that I love and appreciate. And there are those oracle decks that I work with. And as I'm getting to know this particular oracle deck, it certainly feels like this is one of the decks that I might end up working with after all. So, as you can see, this is a deck called the Ancestral Oracle of the Celts. And this has been created by none other than Caitlin Matthews and illustrated by the awesome Will Kingen. And it says very clearly on the box, call on your ancestors for guidance, help, and healing. And it's made by Watkins. Actually, they've sent me this deck for review, so thank you so much. This is a brilliant box and deck again. And as you can see clearly, there's this little ribbon thing. So all you have to do is sort of pull at it, and this thing comes out. So what happens is, again, this is a very sturdy box, and I'll show you the insides of this as well. And all you have to do, you can put your the book goes in here, the cards go there, and it all goes neatly in here, and then you can store it however you want to store it, right? It's great because this kind of box has multiple utilities in this way. So let's just get into it. So the book also has the same design or drawing or image on the cover as the main box. And as you will see later, one of the cards in this deck has that same cover. Now, again, this is the kind of box you'll have on the inside, right? And the cards, really, they go safely in there, no problem. I would just honestly suggest maybe some sort of a band, like a satin ribbon or something, because then the cards do tend to slip out a little, when you're storing them, they're going to be going like this, and the book is, well, it is not as thick as this, so you can, clearly it does make them a little loose. See that? And it's just start coming out. So if you have one of those really nice kind of, maybe something that matches this color, some kind of a ribbon or band, then that will keep your cards sort of intact. Now, before I get into these cards, which I will, this is the whole point of this video, I want to quickly just have a look at the book, because it is important, guys. If you are going to get into this deck, if you're going to start using this deck, and I would say, it is important because you have to read through this book. This book provides you with a lot of useful information, guidance. This is not a regular, just shuffle and go kind of a deck. Okay, there's a system here. Okay, and this particular book, I would suggest reading it and rereading it, and going over it so that you understand what is the whole point of this entire oracle and how to use it. And so it all begins with them finding this particular cauldron called the Kundestrup cauldron. Okay, and it was excavated in a Danish bog in 1891, and on all the different sides of this cauldron were images of Celtic deities. And so that is the image, or those are the images actually you will find on the first, I believe, 8 cards that are there. I will show them to you, right? And then you have these clan cards, right? And so there are the ancestor cards and the clan cards. There's 2 sort of divisions here in this particular deck. And this book is essential for understanding how to use this oracle. And it is explained here. Again, a very simple method is, she says here, take the cards out, look at them. You will notice there are 2 kinds of cards. The 8 divine ancestor cards, which are displayed horizontally like so. And then you have the 32 clan cards, which are displayed vertically like so, right? So what happens is you have to separate those 2 sections of the cards when you're using this deck. And then the clan cards will give you the advice that you're looking for, and the divine ancestor cards are actually going to give you the questions. And when we look into the meanings, you'll understand how to go about it. But let's say you just pull randomly 1 card from the ancestor parts, the 8 ancestor cards, and then any 1 card from the clan cards. So the clan cards will give you a sort of answer that you're looking for, but the divine ancestor card is going to tell you, a deeper question to ponder upon. And specifically, those questions have been grouped based on areas of your life. So if, let's say, the question that you were looking to find answers or guidance for was, say, related to your love life, then you look in that aspect of that divine ancestor card, and there will be a question there which will help you ponder, and maybe the answer that you have received, along with that question, you kind of, there's a lot to think about. The point of this oracle is that our ancestors had a lot of wisdom, and they carried a lot of wisdom from their ancestors, and they from their ancestors, and so on and so on. And so there is a lot of divine ancient wisdom that is there already within the ancestors that we have. And we can access that wisdom through the images of this deck, right? And so there is a system, and this is the sun circle, and she's chosen the Celtic archetypes or images because that is something that Caitlin Matthews, the author, creator of the deck, she felt that, those are the images that most people can sort of connect with just as well. So, yeah, I have chosen the Celtic tradition as a source of these archetypes because it's an enduring source of cultural and spiritual inspiration for many and offers a bridge to the wisdom of our ancestral heritage, whatever your race or culture. So, now you can, I would say this book, although it is kind of, small-ish, how many pages is there? 87 pages. There is a lot in this book, in these pages, that, you'll keep coming back to it. Don't just discard this book. You'll need this book as you work with these cards more and more. Okay? Then she goes on to talk about how you can create a question, which is really good advice. Then how to do the interpretation. There's some more, the clan cards can be read both upright and reversed, which is interesting. Then Now, this is the thing. This is something that I have an issue with most of the time. Is that before giving the card meanings, many books have a chapter about the spreads, and I'm like, this will make sense after we read the card meanings, right? But anyway, you can maybe skip this chapter and come back to it. That's what I did. I skipped this chapter, and then I came back to it after I went through the card meanings. So here you have, one spread, and there's an example. So this is the spread that, the basic spread that she was talking about, right? And then an example here. Then there's another 3-candle spread, the grandparents spread, and the gifts of the season spread, this one. Yeah, so there's about 4 spreads, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 4 spreads, okay? Which is a lot to work with. And then you have the divine ancestors. These are the, again, she goes into the imagery of the cauldron and what the divine ancestors are all about. And see, as you can see here, let me hold this up a little closer. You get the image of the card, and you get these 4 sections. This is the general or attitude, work or creativity, health or well-being, love or friendship. And each section has a question that you can maybe journal about or think about, ponder upon, so on and so forth. And then there is a family gift. There's a little message there. And then a little write-up about that particular card. Now, it also talks about, here you go a little bit, the position on that sun circle. See here, page 11. This one, right? Its position on the sun circle, the growth, and the quality. So, there's a lot here to digest in a little tiny little bit. And here's the thing. Now, I haven't personally read up a lot about Celtic myth, but it sounds super fascinating. And the more I kept reading about it, because sometimes there are little stories here about, especially as you get into the clan cards, there are little stories about the images, who they are and what they represent. And I'm like, I need to read up on this. So if let's say you are into Celtic myth, you will find this a very familiar territory. But if you haven't really gotten into it, then this will be something that could be a very interesting doorway. Like, you'll be like, oh, this looks fascinating. Let me read up more about this. And, you can go read up about it. So for me, that was nice. So yeah, so here you have, information about all the divine ancestor cards. And then we get into the clan cards. And these clans are divided into, sort of 4 clans. You have the clan of truth, the clan of honor, the clan of sovereignty, and the clan of wisdom. So the clan of truth is your regular everyday people. They, the farmers, basically, that kind of, they tend the land and provide food and shelter, that sort of thing. The clan of honor represents courage, action, and development. This is the warrior tribe, right? Then the clan of sovereignty represents sovereignty, service, maturity, compassion, service. So these are your nobles, the protectors, the rulers, that sort of thing. And then finally, we have the clan of wisdom. They represent wisdom, vision, spirit, knowledge, teachings, all of that. So you have your seers, you have your teachers, all those roles that were played in the ancient tribal sort of setup. You have those here. And then, of course, you have the directions and stuff. And you can read them upright and reversed. So here we go. This is the first card. Just like your divine ancestor card, you have the card image and you have the the information here about that card's story and stuff. You have the position, the emblem, and the keyword here. And you have interpretations for upright and reversed. And the words they have used is, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, Daysal and Tuathal, which basically Daysal means upright, or towards the sun, and Tuathal means away from the sun or reversed, right? And then there's of course the family wisdom. So You get your interpretation, you get the information, you get the family wisdom, you get the stuff of the, the sun circle. And so, so it's a little introduction here with the stories and stuff, but it can get you going. It definitely got me going. And there's a lot of, definitely gonna be me looking for some books on Celtic myth. So if you guys know of any like a really good book which is also available as an ebook, because that makes it easy for me, just download it in my Kindle and go kind of thing. So let me know, okay, if you know of a really good book. Anyhow, so first we have the Clan of Truth. So you have all these people in the Clan of Truth, right? Then the Clan of Honor, who are the warriors. Then the Clan of Sovereignty, who are the nobles. And finally, the Clan of Wisdom, who have all the seers and the teachers and stuff like that. See, we have a poet. So there is a all beautiful space here for the arts, right? This is in old ways are beautiful because they had space in their lives and culture for everything, artistic and all of that. Anyhow, so I can just keep going about this, but here's the thing: once this is done, you can come back. That's what I did. I came back to the second chapter, or which chapter is that? Yeah, the one with the spreads and patterns. I looked it over, and then you come back here reweaving the web, because now this is kind of the meat of this whole thing. Like, yeah, you can do your readings and stuff, but what is the whole point of this oracle? Why this is all about ancestors, and what is the whole core meat of this process? What are you trying to get at? It's all explained here really nicely, right? And how we can look at the ancestors and the family patterns, and you can look at one person, or circle of welcome ritual. Now there's a lot of thought and very, very interesting meaningful approaches that have been given here, especially when you're doing ancestor work. And that's when this particular deck will show its true colors. So here we have that. And of course, which is something again brilliant, you have further reading and resources, a little bit about Caitlin Matthews, the author, and Will Kingan, the illustrator, right? Brilliant. Just brilliant. This book is a storehouse of wealth in terms of information, which I think you will keep coming back to this book, and I think you should keep coming back to this book as you work with this oracle. Okay, so now that was that. Now let's get into the cards. So I'm gonna lay these like this for a bit, so we can see the whatchamacallit, the ancestor cards first. And I'm gonna adjust my camera a little bit, so I'm gonna bring it a little bit closer. Okay, so these are the 8 ancestral cards, the divine ancestral cards. As you can see, again, they're shown in that shape of that cauldron that they found in Denmark. And so again, they just show one side per card, but these are supposed to be the archetypal gods, goddesses that they found on 8 directions of that particular cauldron. So hence we have these 8 ancestral cards. These are your gods and goddesses of Celtic myth. And since I'm really sorry, I'm not really into Celtic myth as of now, so but read the book. The book will tell you who you're looking at. So, the Lady and the Lord of Life. Lady of Light, and the Lord of Light. That's how they paired, the Lady and the Lord of something. Right? Then we have, first we had life, then we had light, and then we have love, Lord of Love, and lore. See, storytelling, stories, because oral traditions, or many cultures, the traditions, the stories, the myths, all of them were orally transmitted. By that I mean that the stories were told. Grandparents would tell them to the grandchildren. The grandchildren would then grow up and in turn tell them to their grandparents, and so on and so on. So, stories were meant to be just told. And that's how, because I think in many cultures writing was not there, or if they ever wrote, it was maybe on stone blocks or something. It was not, there was not a permanent, paper was not there, printing was not there, obviously. And even actually writing with ink and stuff happened much later. So all of these stories were told. So it was important to know those stories so that you could pass them on, right? That was a very important role, someone who was the keeper of the stories in that way. Okay, so these were your 8 sort of divine ancestor cards. Oops, now let me adjust the camera. All right, so now we come to your clan cards, and this is the first clan, which is the clan of truth, right? So we have the spinner, the lad, the shepherdess, the tracker. And it's interesting, if I don't know, just sorry to the card back is kind of just plain. If you look closely, there is a little bit of a design there, but it's not always very quickly that obvious. So it is a reversible design, which is brilliant. And then each sort of group there's a different color for the borders of the card, so you can easily sort of distinguish which one it is. So the clan of truth, remember, is all about the people who work, everyday regular people who work with their 2 hands, the farmers. Since we are talking a simple tribal culture, so farmers. So these were the people. And so you have the green color, which is again very fitting. The weaver, this is beautiful, right? The protector, the keeper. Look at that spider there. The restorer. Interesting. Okay, so the next one is your clan of honor, right? And these are your warriors. So again, they get a reddish, orangish sort of a color for the border, because that's more fiery. This is earthy, right? You can even say assign some elemental connection with it if that's how you work, right? So this would be fiery or fire. So that's nice because warriors. So the maiden, the gilly. I hope I'm saying that right. The mistress, the hunter, the mother, the warrior, the fosterer, the commander. Okay. Now the next one is your clan of Serenity. So these are your nobles and stuff, right? And even they had a role to perform actually, because someone needs to form the rules, set down the law, and make sure it is kind of enacted, and people follow it, and of course they, being in a maybe better financial position, can actually do that little bit that others can't, that sort of thing. So you have your princess, and of course the prince. The adult track, the Tanaist. I hope I'm saying that right. The queen, and of course king, the queen mother, the counselor. And then finally, there is, of course, the clan of wisdom. So now these, again, see, this is interesting. The clan of honor, right? They got the orangish color. And then the nobles, or the clan of sovereignty, they got the purple color, which is often associated with nobility. And now the seer, they get the clan of wisdom, that gets again a nice sort of scarlet red color. So this is interesting again, because I always associated both orange and red to the fire elements, which is interesting. So we have the seer, we have the brehorn, the initiator, interesting, the poet, ooh, the healer, the prophet, the way shower. See, this is the image on the cover and also on the book, which is, I think, beautiful, because the way shower, right? Wow. Okay. The druid. Yep. So these are the 32 clan cards. I hope this fits. The clan cards and the divine ancestor cards. So in order to do a reading, just the very basic reading, you basically need to separate these two, mix this up separately, and then pull one card from this and one card from this. What do you say, guys? Shall we give this oracle deck a spin? Okay, so while I'm spinning, I'm wondering what question I should ask. Especially to my ancestors. How about something really, really, really deep and meaningful? Because, hey, why not? Right? I mean, here I am in this particular life here today, as a tarot reader, as a writer / storyteller, right? Now these are the ancestral cards. You never read them reverse, but let me mix them up anyway. So what's the whole point? Why was I? Because I'm I in my entire family, I've always been the one who's kind of taken the different path, right? So what is the point of this all? What is the point of all this? Why am so different from the rest? And what was the purpose? What was the purpose of my path? Yeah, see, I'm just thinking, talking to myself, thinking it through, and finally the question that emerges is this: what is the whole purpose of my life's path being so very different from the rest of my families, right? So here it is. I'm gonna hold the cards in my hand. These are the clan cards. As the book said, just pull one. And then the Divine Ancestor cards. Pull one. Okay. And there you go. I'm supposed to open this one up first and this one later. Again, as I said before, it doesn't matter if this one shows up upright or reverse, it's always read upright, but this one can be upright and reverse. So you can read, the way it shows up. So, the Princess reversed. This is interesting. Very interesting. So let's just go back to the book. Here we have the Princess. The reverse one is: waiting for the fated outcome can make a victim of you. Listen to this. Try reaching into your destiny and envisioning how it might change what currently seems unalterable. If the expected has already happened, turn back to your source and make the best of what is left. Right? Family wisdom is: I give myself unreservedly in the service of love. Let's read up about this princess. The princess learns to appreciate power and its uses at an early age, for one day she will be given in a dynastic marriage. She learns what gifts and responsibilities flow in her veins and is educated by her foster parents in the skills she will need when the time comes. As the mother of future rulers, she needs to find the resources to serve sovereignty. The omens before Deirdre's birth, I hope I'm saying that right, set her aside as a woman destined to be queen from before her birth. However, instead of remaining in seclusion for her intended royal husband, Conchobar of Ulster, she falls in love with young Naois, whose hair is as black as the raven's wing, whose skin is as white as the snow, and whose lips are as red as the blood in the snow. With him, she chooses to go into exile in Alba, only to return to Ireland to her death. Wow, okay. So she's someone who has broken the rules that were set for her beforehand, and she does what she wants ultimately, but when she returns to Ireland, she dies. I have to read more on this legend, but this seems interesting. So the question I asked was, why is my path so different from the rest of my family's path? And the card meanings, now coming back to this, especially seeing this card showing up reversed, right? It says, waiting for the fated outcome can make a victim of you. So if I would have sat there and said, okay, I'm just going to follow the path that's been sort of typically set down and, done what is typically being done, I would have become a victim. And every time I try to, fit myself in that role, I do end up getting hurt a lot. So try reaching into your destiny and envisioning how it might change what currently seems unalterable. If the expected has already happened, turn back to your source and make the best of what is left. So I have found my path, and I keep questioning it over and over again. Is it the right thing? Is it the right thing? Is it the right thing? Every time I hit, say, a wall or something doesn't work the way I want it to work, I question my choices. I question my decisions, right? This is, I think in some ways it is normal, but it says over here that Go back to your source each time and make the best of what you have, right? And whatever it is unreservedly in the service of love. So this is important for me as a message coming in from my ancestors, which says, hey, listen, this has always been the direction. You're not supposed to follow the direction of what was set down by everybody in your family. You were always supposed to go in the other direction, be that black sheep, whatever the hell it is, doesn't matter, because that was your just destiny from day one. So don't question it ever. And now, questions to ponder. We have the Lord of Light. Wow. Okay. So now let's go to that section. The Lord of Light. And the question I asked was about my whole, life's purpose and stuff like that. So that comes under, I don't know, general work, creativity, right? So let's look at both. For general, the question is, for what are you most grateful? Which resources can you use most skillfully? How do you honorably, now for the work section, how do you honorably serve through your work? What gifts do others receive from your creativity? And this family gift. I impart the gift of skillful vision. Whatever the difficulty, my light shines upon the issue. Let's do the reading of this also, just for the heck of it. The Lord of Light helps us to see with a clear vision, enabling us to be strong and resourceful where the challenges of life engage us. The Lord of Light holds in check the petty rivalries and competitiveness that keep us from walking our life path. His skill enables us to work for the benefit of the tribe and not just personal gain. His radiant beneficence opens up closed hearts, shining resourceful brilliance onto the ways that have been blocked or abandoned. Oh boy. Mana Vidan. Oh, I hope I'm saying that right, okay? Mana Vidan is the resourceful second husband of Rhiannon. He opens up skillful ways of surviving when he and his family are removed from their own land and set down elsewhere in a strange country by otherworldly agency. Without pride or reliance upon status, he creates goods that can be traded, uses his skill to release his wife and her son from imprisonment, and delivers the land from enchantment. This is a story you gotta read, I guess. Very, very interesting. So now this is something to ponder upon, right? The Lord of Light brings a clarity of vision. This is again very interesting because remember my question was, what was the whole point of making me different from my family? And the Lord of Light says, you have a clarity of vision that's just there, and he brings that clarity of vision. But then he's also asking, how do you honorably serve through your work? What gifts do others receive from your creativity? What are you most grateful for? What resources can you use most skillfully? So here, he's challenging me instead of, getting into that whole why and what, purpose. Yes, this was always kind of fated that you will not follow that set down path. It says so right here. But then with that clear, here is what you should ask yourself. What can you give to them? What is the clarity of vision that you can give to the people who come to you, right? Because even when, like this guy, Manavdan, I hope I'm saying that right. When he was, in his story, when he is removed from his land and set down in a strange country, without anything to kind of fall back on, he creates something that he can trade with. He uses his skill to kind of release his wife and son from imprisonment, and he also delivers the land from enchantment. So when he is put in a place where he has nothing to fall back upon, he still uses the skills that were given to him to get what he wants and, set things right, not just for himself or his family or his community, but for the whole entire land, right? So that is super interesting. So that is where this guy's energy is coming from. He's like, yeah, sure, you've gone down a path which nobody's gone down before in your family anyhow, which is maybe what was destined for you in a way. But then now that you've done that, stop doubting yourself and see how you can use those skills to benefit yourself, the people around you, and even the land, the world, and all of that. Man, this has given me a lot to think about. just the very basic, simple reading with this particular deck has given me a lot to think about. Man, am I gonna journal or what? All right, so wow. Okay, wow. All right, so I'm just gonna take a moment to pause here. It's just something to think about. Gosh. All right, so anyhow, this has been super interesting, super interesting. This is, friends, the awesome Ancestral Oracle of the Celts. And this was my absolute first reading with it, which is mind-blowing, to say the least. So, again, this is another, like I said right at the outset of this video, this is one of those very interesting oracle decks, very promising, especially for someone like me who is not into oracles. As I saw the setup and I started looking at the, reading through it, this thing has a lot of possibilities and a lot to offer in terms of insight and wisdom. This oracle deserves your time, your attention, and care, and you spending genuine quality time with it, understanding what it's all about, understanding the cards, the sun circle, and all of it. And even Celtic myth. Again, anybody know a great book which has a lot of these myths and all of these myths if possible, and especially ebook format and on Kindle, just let me know, I'll buy it. Right, so I think you guys should totally, if you are into oracles, if you're into, getting wisdom from your ancestors, and, especially wisdom like, that little reading I did, which was brilliant. I think you guys should give this deck, a go. Totally order it. And I will put, I don't know if this is available on Amazon. I think it should be. I will put all the links in the video description. So please use those links to go buy the deck. It'll be awesome. And I hope you guys also enjoy this deck and come back to the video and just leave a comment. Tell me what you thought when you played with this deck, what your experience was. If you already have the deck, please share your thoughts and experiences. And my goodness, yes, if you like this video, just give it a like, press the like icon, the thumbs up under the video. All of that really genuinely encourages me, to make more videos for you guys and all of that. Oh gosh, I'm still reeling with the message that came through. So I guess I will talk to you in my next video. Okay, bye till then. Bye. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. Please give this video a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, where I post my card a day readings every day. You can also order a reading for yourself, or you can learn how to read tarot from me, of course. All of these links are in the description, so check that out. I will see you again in my next video. Until then, stay good, be good, and play with your cards. Bye now.